Hey gang, I'm Paul with Stud Pack. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Stud Pack Dream House build. Check it out. We have complete eaves on our garage build and they look fantastic. And they were pretty easy to put up. We had some challenges, but we made it through. We've got 2x6 construction up there with 5-inch GRK structural screws holding everything to our framing and our trusses behind all the zip. After we got all the framing done, we put up some spare pieces of zip up there and taped everything, and it is completely dried in. In fact, after we had those put up, we had 2 major thunderstorms, didn't get any water in the building, and everything was splashing way over here and kept our garage dry. Upstairs was dry. Absolutely love the zip system. Now these eaves are really strong. 2x6 construction, and actually the ledger on this side is a 2x8. Now we have a 16-inch overhang on the sides and a 20-inch overhang front and back. And to make the front and back even stronger, the plans call for decorative corbels, but we're gonna make them structural. Don't really need them to be structural. That's how strong this is. We're gonna have 5 corbels here and 5 on the back, and that's gonna just make them a little bit stronger. And because of this gable in the front, tying into the side, that connection makes the side stronger. And remember, Rad was up there jumping up and down and they didn't move a bit. So would we do it like that again? Well, remember, the whole point of building this garage first is taking what we learned and applying it to the house, or not applying it to the house. Now, personally, I like doing it the way we did it. The downside, the biggest downside, was that it was so high in the air. We had to take down the scaffold and set it up 6 different times. That took longer than actually putting up the wood. So on the main house, what Jordan wants to do is have the rafter tails from the trusses stick out, and then we seal around it. But there are pros and cons to every system, right? One of the major pros to the way we did it here is that top piece of zip ties our trusses down to our wall system. And this piece of zip ties the second floor to the first floor. If we put our zip on the walls first, on the slab, and then stand it up, we're gonna lose a bit of that. May have to use some metal anchors, whatever, but we're gonna figure it out. We learned a lot by putting the eaves on our building after the fact. Would we do it again? Yes. But we'll probably try something different on the main house because it is so big, and this end right here where the great room is gonna be way in the air. Now for today's video, we are gonna completely switch gears on you. In fact, the reason we're making this video, we tried to go on YouTube, find out information about how to do what we're about to do, couldn't find anything, so let's head upstairs and show you what we're up against. So what are we talking about? It is right here. Nice blue powder-coated steel, 1/2-inch copper lines. This is the tank for an in-the-wall tankless toilet. The toilet is hung here on the wall. It's not sitting on the ground, so it's really easy to clean. These adjustable legs let you dial in the desired height of your toilet. If you're short, make it lower. If you're tall, make it higher. This will fit in 2x4 construction, or like we have, 2x6 construction, so we can put plenty of insulation behind here to protect that tank from the Arctic winters we have here in Texas. So Jordan, what did you get here, bud?
So as you know, I spent like 2.5 weeks researching toilets.
I know.
And I couldn't really focus on anything else. So what we have here is obviously you see the in-wall tank system.
Well, you kept going back to this, in other words, right?
Yeah, I just kept calling my name.
Yeah.
So we went with the Toto S550E Plus with the washlet plus. It's essentially a smart toilet.
We'll put links for everything. Right?
Yeah, it's a smart toilet and a smart seat. And I was actually on the fence about either splurging on this or completely just going the opposite way, buying a cheap toilet and putting it in here. But you actually convinced me to spend the money because you said, you said screw it pretty much. And it's not my money, so go ahead.
Right. Like we said earlier, this garage build is kind of our prototype for what we're going to use in the house. If you fall in love with this, we'll put them over there. But if you hate it, we'll do something else different in the house.
Well, what a cool way to pick up room in a small bathroom, right?
Absolutely.
If you just, you don't want that typical tank sticking out.
We're this much further back. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to putting this in and seeing what the final bathroom looks like. With your wall-hung vanity and a wall-hung toilet, your floor is going to be uninterrupted, easy for you to clean, and plenty of places to throw all your laundry under there.
Hey.
Now we can already hear your comments. Well, what happens if the tank gets punctured by a nail from the backer board or a nail from the siding in the back? How are you going to replace the tank? What about your flush valves? How are you ever going to fix that? Now, whenever we fix a toilet, it's either going to be the fill valve, the flush valve, or probably a water leak around the water line coming in or around the wax ring. This toilet doesn't have a wax ring, has a really cool drain connection. We're going to show you that. Here's our flush valve right here, totally accessible behind the mud ring and the cover plate. and there's a solenoid valve of some type on the side, it just slides right out, so everything is accessible right here. What do you think, Jordan? Are you concerned about puncturing this tank?
Well, it's just like anything else on a new build. You just gotta be careful and you gotta know what you're doing. What if it gets punctured? What if this? What if that? Can't live your life based on what if, man. We gotta just be careful, make sure that we got plenty of red markers and red spray paint so people know not to drive a screw through that.
Yep, and we're gonna put up the backer board, so we'll have two 2x6s here. Recommends having 2 on a side, 2 over there. We're gonna put our backer board there. Tiling is not gonna damage it. And then from the back side, we're gonna put siding on the building, so we're gonna be in our studs, but if we do have an errant nail, we have 2 inches here between the back of this and the back of our zip. We talked about putting sheet metal here, sheet metal in the front, but as careful as we are, I'm not worried about it at all. So
yeah,
I say
we're about to move the studs anyway, and we have to go on the back side of the building to drive our sheathing nails to secure these studs. And when we do that, we'll just mark it on the exterior of the sheathing. That way on siding day, we'll have a big red X and we'll know.
And that's a good transition into our next step. So let's show them in the bathroom what you're talking about. So when we first framed this wall, conventional 16-inch on center, because you hadn't decided on the toilet yet. But obviously, this won't fit in there, right? So we gotta move these 2 studs. But when we were nailing up the zip, we had the forethought not to attach the zip to these studs. Check it out. It's gonna come right off. We just have to cut our nails here and at the top plate, move these 2 studs, and we're good to go. We will have to build the scaffold again outside and attach the zip to our studs, but we're gonna do that during window install day, so I can't wait for that.
Because a big window's going over the toilet. We gotta get out there anyway.
We are gonna have a window over the toilet. So let's grab the recip, cut these studs out of the way, and start putting in our Toto toilet. All right, guys, I'm gonna cut my bottom ones first. I'm gonna cut this direction right here on this stud away from the drain. I'm gonna flip over and cut to the left over here away from our pegs. All right, if we did our job right, these should just pull off the top. We got a clamp here. Yep, all right. Need some pliers for that. There we go. And just pull straight down. Now see how easy that came down? I'm gonna go back to our gable overhangs a little bit. That's the exact reason we didn't build the ladders on the ground and install them, because we wanted to toenail that connection so it didn't pull off as easy as that did. Because you saw how easy that came off. But basically we put a board in and we toenailed it. Y'all did 5 nails or 6 per board?
5 and 6.
5 and 6, yeah. So it's a really strong connection. All right, dude. Let's go downstairs, grab some pliers, get this clamp off of here, and start laying out our toilet. All right, guys, our studs are out of the way, and we're ready to mount our frame and the wall. But the very first thing you gotta know is, what is the height of your toilet rim above your finished floor? So Jordan went inside, and the toilet in there is what, 16.5, Jordan?
Yeah.
The rim, right, of the bowl, not the seat, the rim. He wants it a little higher, so we're going 18 inches above finished floor. And now let me throw my glasses on. If you come to the installation instructions, they have it right here, toilet rim height, 18 inches. They want the system height, which is, this is our system. The top of this is our system height. They want it 48 and 5/16 above the finished floor. But we don't have our finished floor yet. We're gonna account for that. So we're gonna add 3/4 of an inch to this, 49 and 1/16. And if you live in a country that uses metric, it's got the whole thing there too in metric for you.
And why are you adding 3/4?
Because that's the thickness of our finished floor. Probably gonna use Detra and some tile so it flushes out with the wood floor in there. So we're gonna go 49 and 1/16. Let's round it off to 49, bud, make it nice and easy. You think you'll feel 1/16 of an inch when you sit down?
Depends.
All right. So 49 inches above our subfloor, I made a mark right there. But remember, our frame sits on our bottom plate. So we gotta take a measurement from there. We use a 2x6, so that's gonna be 47.5 to our mark. And now it's a simple matter, hooking our tape on the top of our system frame, coming down here to the bottom, and we extended this leg out to 47.5. We'll lock down the bolt, do the other side, and this guy is ready to put in the wall.
Start it up.
right, that'll hold it. All right, what's our next step? All right, we've got our bolts tightened to our proper height for our frame. Now we've got it sitting on a 2x4 just to mimic our sill plate here, just so we get our height dialed in. Now this is the discharge tube. Remember, we're looking at the back, so the discharge tube is gonna go right there, and it attaches to this bracket like that. This bracket clamps our tube to the frame. And there's 2 slots. The one nearest to me, the back one, is in case you want to have an angle discharge like this to meet up with your sewer line. And when it swings, it clears the frame and the water line. But we're gonna go straight down, so we're gonna use the front one, just like that. All right, we have our bolts tightened. Our frame height is set in stone. Now it's time to connect it to the sewer. So we have the discharge tube that came with our frame, and it's gonna go right here on that bracket. And we're gonna attach it to our 3-inch PVC with a 4-band no-hub coupling. This coupling has a shoulder inside, and it is 1.5 inches to that shoulder. So I want the top of my no-hub to be right here at this bevel. So I'm gonna come down from that bevel, just maybe 1 3/4, give myself a little room, and we're gonna cut this, fit it up, then we'll cut this pipe so it matches, tie it all together with this guy. All right, dude, you ready?
Yep.
You sure? I can't go back after this. Man, that blade is sweet. I got our pipe cut. Now we've got our strap on there. Let's attach it to our frame. Just clips on, boom, boom, just like that. We're gonna go straight down, obviously. And now we can measure from here to the top of our sill plate. And what's that gonna be, Jordan? Like 3.5?
Yeah.
3.5. And that's gonna allow room for the stop that's inside of our no-hub. So we're gonna come over here from the top of our sill plate, make a mark at 3.5 on our 3-inch waistline, make a straight cut. All right, bud, 3.5. Right there, boom. Now, back in my welding days, my pipe fitting days, we use what's called a wraparound to get a nice square cut with a torch on the end of a piece of pipe. So I've got the sandpaper, and I'm gonna use it like a wraparound. Just like that. And if I line up the edges, you see how that's working?
Yeah, that's cool.
If I line up my edges, I'm gonna have a nice square cut all the way around. I'm gonna come down a little bit, boom. I was gonna put a piece of tape there, but I think I'll just mark it with this pencil, and that'll be our cut line. Because I wanna get as nice of a cut as I can, nice and square, and now I got a line to guide me. And I think that'll do it. Look at that. Pretty cool, huh?
Nice.
Now you may be asking yourself, Dad, what in the world do you use that sandpaper for?
I've never seen you use that.
So I have a big piece of glass, and I have this in various grits, and it's self-adhesive. So I think I start with the 80, and then I have a finer grit, and I think with 400 or 600, and that's how I sharpen all my chisels and planes, on a flat piece of glass, on sandpaper. Pretty cool. All right, dude, let's cut that. Are we sure?
I don't think we're ever 100% sure, but we think it looks good, so go.
It does look good. I was just wondering, is there still water in here from the test, but I guess they drained it out. Look how easy it is to follow that line, huh? Pretty cool. Yeah, that was tough in the back, but I'm pretty happy with that. I'll clean that up a little bit. We'll get rid of this little burr with some emery cloth. We're ready to go, dude. Cool. All right, we've got our metal sleeve on. Now we can drop our band on.
What, we got our what sleeve on?
We got our rubber sleeve on. What'd I say?
Metal.
Oh, all right, we got our rubber sleeve on. I'm down to my stop, really liking that. Now we're gonna put our metal sleeve on, obviously with the screws facing out, right? And now we're ready for our frame, bud.
Cool.
Let's clean up the sawdust, get our frame mounted. Yeah, we're into this PEX line. We thought we could clear it, but I think I gotta go downstairs and pull that out, bud.
Okay.
and then he can reroute it over here on the left and plumb it into our valve, which is right behind here.
All right.
All right, I'll head down, do that, and why don't you do something useful up here? All right, I'm back upstairs, and that's the beauty of PEX, right, Jordan? I can just pull it out of the way. If it were copper, we'd be cutting stuff. All right, I may need your hand here. Get that on. Definitely will. Let's see if we can do this smarter, bud. What if we took this off the frame, put our outlet on there, and then lined it back up? You like that? Yeah, because this is kind of a pain. All right, we're changing the directions. I'm liking that already. Well, nowhere to put anything. This guy's tight.
Yeah.
Little at a time. All right, I'm home. Square to the wall, all the way down.
I like that.
Can you feel that? Can you put your hand in there and see if we're all the way down?
Why my hand?
Your hand is smaller. There you go.
Yeah, it feels great.
All right, nice.
Yep.
Oh. And then that should go right there. Oh, there we go.
Caught on the screws.
Yep, I did it wrong. All right. Dang it.
Oh my gosh.
We did it backwards over here, and so I had to put it backwards on there. Well, we get to do it again.
Well, tell them why.
There's no room here because of this bracket where the valve is for these screws. They need to be over here.
Right. All right, we'll be right back.
All right, be right back. And we're back. Got that spun around. Let's put our clamp back on. We're gonna hook the right side first. Snap it on the left. Look how close that is right there. We're hitting. Wish they'd have given me a little more room. That's why these are so fun to put in, huh? Yeah, there we go. Nice. Perfect. Sweet. All right, so what I'm seeing, bud, is the front of this frame is supposed to be flush with the front of our framing.
Right.
But when we put this pipe in, we didn't know what frame you got first, right?
Right.
So this tipped forward a little bit in our no hub, but I'm fine with that because this has to be flush.
Okay.
Because this has to be flush.
So is this angled down now instead of being like straight up and down?
It is.
Is that a problem?
Yeah, I'm not really that excited about it. Let's see what we can come up with. We can go downstairs and see if there's any way we can move this pipe, the PVC one. Let me get this up out of the way.
Scoot it forward?
Yeah, like cut this out
Right.
and scoot it forward. I think that's really what we need to do.
Okay. Is there a problem with cutting that sill plate right there?
Nope, because all our strength is in this floor. We'll put a nail plate across the front. So what we're thinking is cut it here and see if that pipe will move forward, the white pipe, and get this frame exactly where we want it.
All right.
I don't want to be fighting it.
Sure.
With needing longer screws for the trim plate and all that. All right, guys, check it out up here on the ladder. This is the other side of that 3-inch toilet line right here. We got all this pipe. I'm sure we can bend it just a couple of degrees, but we will have to cut our sill plate. And if you look way up there, past our 4-aught service line, we will have to cut the subfloor also to get enough room just to tip that pipe up so it's perfectly plumb. That's our problem. It's not perfectly plumb. It needs to be further that way anyway. All right, bud, let me get my hearing protection. We'll get the buzz saw or the multi-tool. Go cut some
wood.
Go cut some wood. That was it. Just like carving a pumpkin, right? You cut that piece and poke it out. There we go. Nice, look at that. Perfect. All right, let me clean up. We may want to drive a wedge behind there just to hold that in place right there. Let's do that. Let's go downstairs, cut a little wedge. We'll hold that piece of pipe far this way so it doesn't put any stress on this. We're ready to go. All right, guys, here's our shim. You can see how it works. Just like that. Obviously, I want it under the no hub. Let me get my hand in there. Are we clear? A little more? No, we're good.
Yeah.
Pipe's right at the front, which is what we want. Now we're nice and straight, nice and plumb here. Why don't we fasten this to the floor, bud, and go on to the next step. All right, now we're going to tighten our band clamp with our torque nut driver. It's not really a torque nut driver. we're gonna get comments that I should be using one because these are spec to be torqued at a certain tightness. I just want to get them snug, and we'll see if the plumber has a torque wrench, but I kind of doubt it. All right, that'll hold it. Let's put a couple bolts in there and go get some lunch. All right, guys, we are making great progress. We put our wedge behind here to shove this pipe all the way to our cutout here. So now this is nice and plumb. We got our power supply cable zip tied to our frame, sticking out just a little bit, so it'll stick out past our backer board and our tile right there. And for our next step, we're ready to start fastening this thing to our framing. We're gonna put a screw here and a screw here, and then we're gonna put two 2x6s on the right and on the left, and bolt this frame to those 2x6s, and we're about done, buddy.
Cool.
All right. Come on. Jeez. All right, let's put in some 2x6s. Cool. All right, we've got our two 2x6s we took down. We're gonna nail them together and install these two on the right first. Dude, think this will hold up your toilet?
Hopefully.
Man. Cool. Let's put these screws in first and pull this into position. Then we'll nail this off. Then we'll do the left side. The left side, we're gonna build it just like this and drill our hole for the water line right here before we install it, because then we can't get our drill in here. Then we're ready for our water line, and we're almost got this wrapped up.
Cool.
All right, how are we gonna get this one?
Ratchet.
Or I could put it here. I don't feel like I need this one. I'm fastened here, we'll put it there. That's what the instructions say anyway, I think, right?
That's right.
Man, that's a tough angle. I'm in the hole on the other side. I'm gonna tap it to set it. Ow. Now it won't move. Put that guy on there. Ow. And then maybe I won't be at such a bad angle. That's a little better. Now we're thinking.
Careful, careful.
There's one side. All right, you know what we gotta do now? We gotta go downstairs and find two more 2x6 studs.
Oh, that might be hard.
It might be. All right, let's get a measurement. Is that 10? All right, why don't we attach these first? See the top?
Yep.
So we don't forget, and then your toilet falls off the wall. Right there. All right, we'll try to get in here with a screw and toe screw the back of that.
Okay.
All right, let me get the ladder and get the top. Nice, dude. Found one. All right, now we're going to drill a hole through both of these because the water supply line comes in through the side. Once we get these on, there'll be no way to drill that hole because the pipe's in our way. So I got to drill them first. 2 1/4.
You probably want to drill it a little big too, huh?
Yeah, I'm going like monster size here.
Oh, okay.
All right, we got our studs ready with the hole drilled, ready to go. But before we put them in, we have to put in our PEX fitting. PEX A, Uponor, expansion, whatever you want to call it, a 1/2 inch male pipe thread. It's going to screw into the factory fitting right there. And then the line we pulled out will come up right here. It'll bend in and connect there. Now, do we need a valve right here? We do not. Check this out. We have a built-in valve right here for the tank. And here's our outlet for the water for the seat. The plumber will put a valve there. So we'll have a valve here, valve there, good to go. All right, bud, I'm gonna put some Teflon tape on here and some pipe dope. Can't really get a wrench in there. So I've got a 7/8 socket. We'll put it on. Are you ready for that stud? I guess we could have put this on before, huh? But we didn't have the valve thing figured out yet.
Right.
One more.
Hey.
Cool. Ow.
I like that.
Ow.
Careful.
Now, if I did my math right, this should fit. And we can push our Uponor right in there and connect it to our fitting we just installed.
Let's see.
How's she looking?
I love it. I love it.
I'm learning to love it. I wasn't loving it when you first picked it out, but this is gonna be really cool.
You just gotta trust me, man.
I trust you.
I'm telling you.
I trust you.
Well, let me see if I trust you at this whole location. Let's
All
see
right,
if it
check
lines
it
up. Here we go. Wow. Pretty good.
Good?
Pretty good.
Let's put the 3 screws in here, and then it's time to run that PEX.
Yeah.
Cool, nice job.
Love it.
Love it. Now, one thing I know we're going to get comments about is how we're going to insulate behind here, but that's going to be easy to insulate, no matter what we use, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So no problem there. All right, we got to drive this one, probably by hand, and then
Run that
ready
PEX
for
line.
our PEX line. Cool. What's that beat?
What?
What's that beat?
I don't know.
Toilet beat.
Every time I sit here, I'll think about you doing this.
All right, now see if I can get it out. Yay, I got my socket back. All right, PEX line. All right, buddy, feed it to me.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Oh, I need 2 hands. All right, keep pulling. Keep pulling. Good. Yep.
All right, we're ready to cut it right where my left thumb is. Might get a little water. We relieve the pressure, but we're going to find out real fast. Or you hear it? It's pulling air. Yep, nice. Oh! Here, come a little closer, bud, right here. You still trust me?
It's plugged up with your thumb?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I just got to let it go.
I can get a bucket.
Just go open the hose bib downstairs,
All right.
and it'll drain out.
Okay.
I thought I had enough, but I didn't. Are we good?
All right, you ready?
Yep.
I'm going to go like 10.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We're home.
Really?
Nice job.
There it is right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. All right, gang, check it out. Jordan couldn't wait, so we hung the bowl on the frame. He wanted to see it, but we really needed to do it for another reason, and that was for the electrical. Remember, this seat heats the water, so it's got a little heater in there which pulls quite a bit of current. So much that
What water?
the water that cleanses you, I guess, that comes out of this fancy seat.
Right.
So we can't put it on that ground fault. We're already overloaded, right?
Yep.
You plug your hairdryer in, now you're tripping the circuit. So we need a dedicated 15 amp over here. 15 amp will handle it just fine. Now the power cord from the seat feeds through this hole, routes down, comes out the bottom. It's got a right angle plug on it. So we're gonna loop it and plug it in right there. That way it's hidden, kind of out of sight. We could have put it down here, but then the box would have been horizontal. I kind of like it right there. I'll put a metal box on this frame, and the box will be bonded to the ground, so this whole metal frame will be bonded. That way, Jordan, you won't get lit up while you're on the toilet sometimes.
Hey, that might be exciting.
It might be. All right, now these holes right here, Jordan kind of feels like there's supposed to be a cover for that to make it nice and sleek. We can't find them, so he's going to check that out, see if those are available. This copper water line, we're going to insulate that when we insulate the wall. We've got our insulation here for our PEX, and I think we're all set, bud, huh?
That was pretty easy, I gotta say.
It was. Oh, one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
We will put two 2x6s here because that's going to be our windowsill. Got a nice single hung window right here on the way with the rest of the windows, and chose that window over the skylight mainly because the skylight would have had to fit between those trusses and it would just look like a straight tunnel coming down. I've done them where they're flared. We just don't have room for that, and we don't know what kind of roof we're going to have, so that'll make the roofing a little easier, and we'll just put a window right there. You're going to love it.
Yeah. The height's pretty good. I like the height.
It is good.
It worked out well. Easy to clean.
Yeah, most toilets are too low anyway.
I agree. First tankless in-wall system for stud pack.
I like it. I like it.
And it was easy.
It was.
Gotta say.
The instructions, as usual, stuff made overseas are kind of hard to get through sometimes, but we got it.
Do you think that that's easier than like having to cut tile and do a flange and a wax ring and doing the screws at an angle through the flange? And
yeah, it's going to make this floor, really easy. And I imagine this whole wall is going to be tile, right? Maybe halfway, something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's going to be great. And we have this whole toilet to cover whatever hole we cut. We got to cut holes for the 2 bolts. We just got 2 bolts holding on right here. We got the water line coming out. We got the drain. We got the fill line. All kind of holes to cut. Maybe we'll just cut one big one.
Yeah.
You know what? In fact, isn't there a template? Yeah, look.
There is a template. And grab that cap for the sewage, because man.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Cool. Oh yeah, because we're kind of smelling the sewage.
Oh man, well, we've been smelling his sewage.
All right, well that means we got to take the thing off the wall.
Yeah.
You ready?
For the better.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys, we took the bowl off. We put our protective covers over the threaded studs and on our water inlet and our drain right there. So that's going to give us a chance to put our backer board up and put some tile on there. It's going to look great. Can't wait, bud.
Yeah.
Can't wait to start putting tile in this bathroom. Ooh, it's been a while since we've done tile. Kind of glad, but ready to do it and get out of the framing stage. So if you want to recess your like button like we recessed the toilet, now you know what to do. Smash it for us, drop a comment, ask a question. Don't forget, check us out over on Instagram at StudPack Official, and we'll see you right back here on our next video from the StudPack Dream Garage.